My name is Jessica Hruska, and I'm representing Empowering Possibility, and this is Alchemix Episode 5.
Everyone, this is Carl down here at Seven Hills. We got Jessica, and we're going to talk about some awesome things that she's doing in the yoga world and some other great activities and events that you guys are putting on. But first, we have a cocktail. We didn't have one in our last one, but we're back at it again. And this cocktail, I actually finished the recipe last night, and it's basically a grapefruit margarita. We got tequila, grapefruit sour, honey syrup, and salt already mixed into the cocktail.
Sweet.
So, yeah, you want to give it a whirl?
That's good, yeah.
Cheers. Thanks
Cheers.
for coming.
Yeah, thank you. It's good.
Yeah. The grapefruit is one of the hardest flavors I've ever worked with before.
Yeah, because you have to sweeten it a little bit sometimes.
Sweeten it, and then like everything else was hiding it. And I was like, well, what's the point of this? But I think I got it right. I think the salt kind of helps bring it alive a little bit too.
Yeah,
so don't need salt on the rim, just drink it straight out. I think, what's next weekend? Not this weekend, but next weekend was what, the 27th? 28th? I don't know when it is, but I think we're going to do this as a drink special for next weekend, so just keep alert.
Next weekend's the 22nd. I'm running it.
There you go. So yeah, the weekend of the 22nd, we're going to run this as a weekend special. So if you're intrigued, definitely come out and check it out. So yoga and beer is a thing, right?
It's a thing.
What kind of things are you doing with that?
Well, the first time I taught it was here outside at Blocktoberfest last fall.
Last year, yeah.
Yep. I had a couple of guests from Costa Rica.
Oh wow!
For a workshop that weekend, and so the three of us co-taught this beer yoga, and it was fun. It was a different experience completely. Like practicing with a beer in your hand is a different experience than practicing without in many different ways.
Right.
But I love that it gives an opportunity for people that maybe wouldn't feel comfortable coming to the practice, an opportunity just to see what it's about in a fun, laid back atmosphere. Right,
yeah, exactly, because I mean, beer relaxes anyone.
Yeah.
Cocktails relax anyone when you're interviewing them, for sure. So they're holding onto the beer while they're doing all the yoga poses and stuff.
That's what we did at Blocktoberfest, but this time I'll have people put it down because you can't do everything with a beer in your hand.
I was going to say, it limits you.
You can't do downward facing dog with a beer in your hand. That's kind of a foundational pose.
Okay.
So we'll have them put it down, and then I'll have them pick it up, and it's completely laid back. It's laughter and conversations encouraged. It's not a quiet practice. It's just going to be, fun with your friends and have a drink and do some yoga. And
awesome. And that's going to be over at our event center, right?
Yep, on Wednesday the 26th.
26th.
I believe that's the 26th. Yep, the 26th at 6 p.m., so 6 to 7:30.
It's in exactly 2 weeks from today.
Yeah.
Right? Well, you guys don't know when today is, but for the sake of this interview right now, today's today.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's going to be awesome. So you said it's from when? 6 to
7:30. So
perfect. Awesome. So 90 minutes is that about an average yoga class anyway?
The normal class is an hour.
Right.
But I could, many times I've taught a 90 or even a 2-hour practice, and there's just so much that you can do in a practice. I feel like I run out of time in an hour.
Right.
And especially when there's beer involved, that's going to take up some time too.
Right, because someone might finish their beer and you go get another one, and stuff like that. I mean, I'd probably drink 5 of them if I was to go. Because I can't bend.
For me.
I can't bend very well. So
it makes you bendy.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So is this the second time you've ever done a beer yoga thing?
Yeah, the first time was at Blocktoberfest, and Keith said it was a big hit and wanted me to do it again, and he said, let's just make it a thing, like every quarter or something, just throw it out.
Because, I mean, I was going back through all the Blocktober footage, and I'm actually editing it down for promos for the new Blocktoberfest coming up this year, and I was like watching everyone like holding their beers as still as possible, and they're trying to do these poses without spilling. I'm like, mine would be over by now. But.
Well, and Kevin was like, take a drink, do a pose. Take a drink, do a pose. It was like, whoa.
that's definitely going through it pretty fast, I bet. So it's $12 to sign up, right? There's a link in the
on Eventbrite.
Eventbrite. So I'll put a link in the description of the video to the Facebook event, and then inside that event there's a link to Eventbrite, or it's $15 cash,
at the door,
which is still not bad at all.
Yeah, for sure, for beer and yoga.
Right. So does that so you have to still pay for your beer on top of it, or
no?
Is that
one beer is included,
and then if you want
more, then additional.
I mean, so basically it's $10 for the yoga, and you get a free beer. I mean, well, $5 for a beer. whatever. So that's a really good deal.
Yeah.
So how many people are you hoping to have? I mean, obviously you want, how many do you think you can fit?
We could fill that space. We could fit over 100 in the room.
Yeah. Because you normally have yoga there yourselves, right?
Yep. When it's cold out, I teach there, or when it's bad weather. When it's nice out, I like to teach outside, down by the pavilion.
Oh, okay.
When that's been flooded, we've been over by the Star.
Right.
And so it's just, I love teaching outside. It's just
relaxing,
an awesome experience. Right by the river, it's like it's like a destination practice really when it's out there.
Awesome. And how long have you been doing yoga for?
I did my first training in 2002, so I've been teaching since 2002. That would be about 17 years.
Yeah.
And then I did a more extensive training in 2015.
Okay.
And so then that's kind of when I branched out and started to do my own thing. I've taught at studios and stuff. So but then I also do private personal training, and I do a variety of different things. Like I adjunct teach at UD, a class called Personal Empowerment and Emotional Intelligence. Okay. And so a lot of the stuff that I bring into my practice is kind of, I call it yoga off the mat, being mindful and purposeful with how you live and how you move and how you...
Taking the practice of yoga and just put it in your everyday life.
Yeah,
kind of thing, right?
Yeah. And cool. So like that class in the college setting was like yoga off the mat, I would describe it. And so it's just really fun to blend them.
Sure.
I also am a ropes instructor at 4 Mounds, and so bringing like the adventure side of things and the overcoming your fears and getting outside your comfort zone and that sort of stuff.
Right.
Because there's also an edge or a component of that in yoga, where you do new things and stuff. And so I guess all these little things that I do coming together, it creates this diversity that's
awesome. All right, so tell us a little bit more about ropes at Mound. Like, I mean, when I think ropes, I'm thinking of like, when people are working out and all they're just doing is the back and forth ropes thing, for not weight training, but just core training, whatever like that. I'm assuming that's not that.
Yeah, no. So think of a climbing wall, or a big giant swing that you get pulled up in, and then you release the cord, and you swing through the trees, or you climb up a ladder to a log and walk across the log and touch the tree and back in, and various different like challenge course type things. Like there's swinging swings where you step from one swing to the next and make your way. So like think of it in adventure course type of a place where you're getting outside of your comfort zone. Yeah.
And
so
where's this at?
It's out off of Peru Road. Toward John Deere. It's 4 Mounds is a place. It's like a old family homestead. There's a house that you can rent, or people have weddings up there or whatever. So that's where the ropes course is. And like school groups and corporate groups and family reunions or whatever, like all kinds of groups. And there's a bunch of us that are a part of the staff there, and nobody does it full time. It's just kind of like we go out a few times a year, and help out with a group, and it's fun. And so like that part of what I do is leading into the need for opening a climbing gym in the area. So the climbing gym is in the process of getting the business plan done. Then we've been looking at space. We have one pretty much nailed down, and just is working on getting the last bit of the financing done. And that, so it'll be a climbing gym and a ninja gym, like the Ninja Warrior type of trend.
I'll watch that stuff.
And it's super cool. I mean, that's not my strength at all, but I mean, if you look at the people that are good ninjas, they're climbers. So it makes sense to put it together.
I have like zero upper body strength at all. So.
You'd be surprised.
But
and then also awesome. Yoga, of course.
Of course.
So, so putting those three together,
because I think the only climbing wall I can think of in town is at the Creative Adventure Lab.
And that's it's a great place. Jordan has done an awesome job there.
For sure.
But it's it's small and it's for kids.
I know. I went to my son when he was in Cub Scouts. His Cub Scout troop went to Madison, and I took him up there, and this huge white climbing wall, like warehouse. I mean, so many different
boulders
and and places to point on, point off, whatever you want to call it, but it was fun.
Yeah.
It was hard. But
so
it was definitely fun.
Closest climbing gym to here is either Boulders or in Iowa City at the university, or in at UNI or Wartburg. They have one, but there's not one in Iowa City. Did I say Iowa City? I meant Madison. So Madison, there's not one in Iowa City, not one in the Quad Cities, not one in Cedar Rapids. And so we have this huge area.
Opportunity for sure.
Yep. And so it's just a huge demand. There's 3 colleges here, no climbing gym. So we're working on it. It's a big passion of ours. So.
Well, I mean, especially we drove 90 minutes just to get to the one in Madison. So you would think people are still willing to drive that hour. Because it is definitely a fun team building thing.
Right.
Something to go do for, like with your kids, you know.
Right.
Because, I mean, you can hang out all day. It's kind of like skiing, right? You don't ski the entire 10 hours you're there. You just go hang out, go take a break, go back into it.
Like a destination type thing. Yep. And it's I see it for me and my partner as an opportunity to pull together everything that I do. Like pull together the experience that we can create at the ropes course, the experience at yoga, the experience of the class I teach at UD, and all those things, and kind of bring them together in one spot.
No, that'd be awesome. Yeah. I mean, I think more stuff like that needs to happen around, just not even Dubuque, but just in cities in general, you know?
For sure.
But then it's also getting the word out that stuff's available.
Yep.
Because, I mean, I've lived here now for 18 months. I had no idea about the 4 Mountains place.
Right.
But then again, I don't get out that much. But it's still nice to know it's available out there for people.
Like I'm going to volunteer at the Over the Edge on June 28th, where they're rappelling off of the Julian to raise money for the United Way. And to kind of just help promote 4 Mountains for them. Right. Because it's just it. Like, people see that type of an experience and they're like, oh, that's cool, I want to do that, but where? Right,
exactly. So they're going to rappel from the very rooftop of the Julian all the way down?
That's my understanding.
What's that, like 8 or 10 stories, I think?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
One of the taller buildings here in town, right? Yeah. That'd be pretty awesome.
I want to rappel, but I don't want to raise the money.
You don't want. It's not that you don't want to.
I don't have the time.
Right.
I don't have
you wish you could raise the money.
I wish. Yeah. Like, can I just post like I need $1,000 so I can rappel?
One donor. Here you go. I mean, it's just like with Abby and Chris. They said they had to train for the dancing, but half their other time, free time was just
the fundraising.
Fundraising part.
No, and I mean, it's such a great cause.
Yeah. But I mean, any part helps, right? Because you're helping other organizations, just volunteering, you know. So
So I'll do the belay.
Right. Exactly. That's fun. That's awesome. So. Sounds all pretty awesome. So again, the yoga beer yoga is the 26th.
Yep.
So, and then they can, we'll have a link in the description for Facebook for that, where you can go buy tickets, $12 pre and $15 at the door. You get 1 free beer, and I'm almost going to assume we'll be selling beer.
Yeah, there'll be a bartender there. Yeah.
Right. Might be me. But awesome. And then also, what about like your yoga? Because we kind of talked about it earlier. You offer your yoga. How can people join you either in front of the river or here at our event center? Yeah,
so I post every Sunday the schedule for the following week. Empowering Possibility is my business page. And then I also post on my personal page or Instagram, just Jessica Hruska, and my last name is Hruska. And so every Sunday I post it because I have 3 kids and it's just me. And so things come up and my kids have stuff. Like next week we're going on vacation, and so I'm not going to, be teaching. And so since I've just found that if posting weekly, that it gives me some leeway with that.
Sure.
And I teach donation based because I feel like, the studio that I did that supported the training that I did in South Dakota in 2015 is a fully funded donation-based studio, and I want it. It's just a passion of mine to make the practice accessible to everyone.
Right.
I know I've been a college student before. I know not everyone has access to the funds to have a membership to a yoga studio, and that doesn't mean I want to share the practice. The practice has changed my life, and so it's a passion of mine to just share it. And so the average donation is $10, but if you have 2 or whatever, then still come.
Right, that's awesome.
Just bring your own mat. And so I post when I post the schedule, I'll post where. I try to look at the weather and if it's nice out, we'll be outside. If the pavilion's flooded, we'll go to the Star.
That's what a meteorologist does. Just guess.
Oh gosh, I know, it's crazy.
All right, so awesome and perfect. And then you said Empowering Possibilities on Facebook. We'll put a link in that description too for everyone. And hey, appreciate you coming out.
Yeah, thank you.
And
it's a good
fun. Awesome. Well, cheers. Thank you. We'll see you at Beer Yoga, everyone.
Yeah.